So video number 5. This is dealing with difficult conversations with medical students. So we've all had them, and we all maybe can recall these as a medical student. So when we have difficult conversations, I'm just going to provide an example. You've got a medical student on your service on your month, and you find out that the student left without seeing all their patients that day, and then you find out maybe the student had a medical student friend's dinner that night and they were rushing to get out. Whatever the case may be, the student did not finish seeing the patients that he or she was assigned that day. It can be difficult, and we can also even hesitate to have the conversation and say, maybe I'll talk to him or her if it happens again. But, I didn't like it, and I'm aggravated by it, but maybe I'll wait. And I would suggest that you don't wait and that you do have that difficult conversation with the student. It will often help them grow in a professional way as they enter this career of lifelong medicine. So, difficult conversations, some starters for this if you would like to use. You could say, I have something I'd like to discuss with you I think will help us work together more efficiently or effectively. Or you could say, I'd like to talk about your leaving early with you, but first I'd like to get your point of view. Tell me what happened. You can also say, I need your help with what just happened. Do you have a few minutes to talk? I just heard that you left early yesterday. Make sure that you follow up. If you say this, can we talk about it? Let's plan a date. Make sure that you and the student actually do sit down and have that time. You could say, I think we have different perceptions about your leaving early the other night. I'd like to hear your thinking on this. Kind of leaving it open-ended so that the student can give you their perspective as to what happened. Maybe there was an emergency that you didn't know about, but if there wasn't and the student left early to go to a social event, then you'd have a great opportunity to talk about professionalism and putting our own interests aside for the better of the patient care. So let's see, a couple of other things I'd like to talk about. I'd like to see if we want to reach a better understanding about your leaving early last night. I really want to hear what you think about it, and I also want to let you know my thoughts on it as well. So bringing it out right off the bat into the open in a very clear way will enable that discussion to take place. So what happens after you've had that great talk with the student and now going forward? And so basically you've discussed the incident, allow the student time for self-reflection, and you've talked about how this, how can this be improved upon and not happen again? And then you can review principles of the underlying incident, as we talked about professionalism, and then teamwork. Did the student leave the team in the lurch, and how does that impact team function and best outcomes for patient care? Discuss time frame for completing goals. If you say, I do not want to see that you're late any other time on this rotation, then this is a great time to set that goal. Discuss it during the formative assessment time, or the discussion at the mid-month mark, and then again at the end of the month, and see how they did with completing that goal. And then try, if you can, to end on a positive note, appreciating the positive things the student has been doing, and definitely letting the student know what you would like to see in his or her behavior as the month continues.